At 3:14 a.m., the guard on night shift radioed the warden directly, his voice shaking. "There's something at the outer fence." The warden didn't respond immediately. He'd heard stories before: stray dogs, shadows, escaped livestock from the farmland nearby. But this guard didn't sound like someone who saw a cow. "She's just standing there, not trying to get in, just watching." The surveillance footage came in grainy, black and white, but there was no mistaking it. This wasn't a cow, a dog, or a trick of the light. It was a bear, massive, motionless, positioned directly in front of the security lights. Her eyes reflected silver in the dark, and around her neck. Something strange. A tattered strip of blue fabric, faded and knotted. The same kind the prisoner once used as a sling, years ago, deep in the forest. The warden swallowed hard. Guards gathered near the perimeter. Rifles were brought out. Some said, "Shoot it," before it became a danger. Others hesitated. Something about the bear's posture. It wasn't hostile, it was waiting. Inside his cell, the prisoner sat perfectly still. No pacing, no crying, no fear. Just quiet, like a man who had known all along that this moment would come. He didn't ask for a stay of execution. He didn't beg for mercy. All he said once was, "Please, let me see her. One last time." The warden had seen monsters beg like children before death, but this was different. This wasn't fear. This was hope, and that scared him more than anything. By noon, the story had leaked. The young journalist, Casey Monroe, who'd been researching the prisoner's case, had taken the footage from her source inside the prison and uploaded it. She wasn't sure what made her do it. Maybe instinct, maybe desperation, maybe guilt. But once the world saw the bear, it was over. News stations picked it up first, then social media. Within an hour, hashtags were trending. The bear. At the gate. Chew Mara. Is real. Let them. Meat people argued, debated, fought in comment sections. But then came the voices that mattered. Experts. Animal behaviorists analyzed the footage frame by frame. "Bears don't return to a place of trauma," one explained, "unless that place holds something they deeply remember." A retired park ranger came forward with a photo, taken years ago in Armitage Forest. A massive bear beside a wounded man, barely visible behind the brush. "They tranquilized her and took her," he said. "I never saw her again. But that photo, that's the same bear." Spiritualists joined in next. "This is no coincidence," they claimed. "This is soul connection, a bond beyond species." Even skeptics hesitated, because logic didn't explain what they saw in the bear's eyes, that stillness, that focus, that waiting. A petition was launched within hours. Let him see the bear. At first, it was just locals, then thousands, then hundreds of thousands. People who didn't believe in second chances suddenly demanded one, for a man and a bear who clearly never forgot each other. The governor's office went silent. The prison was put on lockdown to prevent media intrusion. Inside the walls, the prisoner was finally allowed to sit near a window. The guards didn't say why. They didn't have to. He just pressed his forehead against the glass and whispered her name. Mara. The call came at 6:41 p.m. The governor's voice was terse, controlled, but beneath it something else lingered. Resignation. Maybe awe. "You'll allow a supervised meeting. Under no circumstances is the execution stayed. Is that understood?" The warden exhaled for the first time all day. "Yes, sir." Preparations began immediately. A secure pen was assembled in the courtyard, metal railings reinforced, tranquilizer teams stationed at a distance, cameras mounted at every angle. They built it not like a reunion, but a containment field. The prisoner was informed. He didn't smile. He didn't cry. He simply said, "Thank you." Casey Monroe, watching from a press tent just outside the gates, tried to hold back her own tears. She'd spoken to this man for only 10 minutes, months ago, during a prison profile project. He hadn't said a word, just stared at the wall. But now, with the world watching, he was finally alive. That night, the execution chamber was prepped. Polished steel, intravenous lines, a single clock ticking louder than it should. The schedule hadn't changed. He would die tomorrow, but tonight, he would live. At 10:12 p.m., the bear moved. Without prompting, without sound, she walked toward the inner gates where a second, smaller enclosure had been constructed. She didn't growl, didn't resist. She just knew, as if she had waited long enough. And now it was time. The courtyard is silent. Moonlight filters through the clouds, spotlighting the metal enclosure like a sacred arena. He steps forward. Every movement is careful, deliberate. Chains on his wrists rattle softly as the guards flank him. He doesn't resist. He knows what this is. A goodbye. One final moment before the world swallows him whole. Then he sees her. Mara is there. Larger than life, her eyes locked on him. No bars, no glass. Just open space and memory between them. He stops, and she moves. With slow, thunderous steps, Mara approaches. Her massive paws leave prints in the dirt. The guards stiffen, fingers tighten on triggers. The tranquilizer team leans in, but she doesn't lunge, doesn't growl. She presses her head into his chest. For a moment, the world holds its breath. Then it happens. He drops to his knees and wraps his arms around her thick neck. His shackles clink against her fur. His voice cracks for the first time in years. You came back. But when the guards step closer, ready to escort him away, Mara turns. A low, thunderous growl rumbles from her throat. She steps between him and the guards, refuses to move. Her body shields him completely. The message is clear. You will not take him from me. The guards raise their weapons instinctively. The prisoner stands up and shouts, his voice raw and desperate. Don't hurt her. I'll go. Just let her be. But she doesn't let him go. Not yet, not until the truth is spoken. The standoff stalls. The air hums with electricity. No one moves. Then he looks up, eyes burning with something deeper than fear. Get the journalist, he says. Casey Monroe, wide-eyed, steps into the circle with her camera still rolling. He turns to her, ignoring the guns, ignoring the bear, ignoring the world. And he begins to speak. I didn't kill that man. The guards blink. The warden freezes. I took the fall for someone else, my brother Jonah. He did it. He was spiraling. Drugs. Rage. I tried to stop him. I found the body first. I panicked. Mara lets out a low, almost mournful sound behind him. I said nothing at the trial. Nothing for years. Not because I was guilty, but because I was already broken. I'd done things before, things I was guilty of. I figured this was the punishment I deserved. He looks directly at the lens. His eyes are red. I was wrong. Casey's hands tremble around the camera. You're live, she whispers. The whole country is watching. He nods, then lowers his gaze to Mara. And she's the only one who ever saw me for who I really was. Just then, Mara does something unexpected. She turns away from him and begins pawing the dirt, scraping, digging. No one understands. Not the guards, not the press, not the warden, but the prisoner freezes. His breath catches. He recognizes the spot. This is where I first woke up, after she dragged me here, years ago. Mara digs faster, claws carving into the dry earth. She works with purpose, memory, instinct. Then she stops. Buried just beneath the soil is a decaying bundle of cloth. The guards step forward, curious now. Uneasy. The bundle is lifted with gloved hands and placed on a nearby table. What they find inside stops everyone cold. A rusted chain, a torn flannel shirt, a weathered leather wallet. The warden opens it. Inside, a cracked ID card. Name, Jonah Whitmer, his brother. Everything matches the description from the murder scene. The shirt, the metal chain used as a weapon, the ID, the items the real killer was wearing, items that had vanished, presumed discarded, never recovered, except they weren't discarded. They were buried, hidden, by the one creature who had seen it all. Mara. She'd never forgotten. And now, she had delivered the truth. The live footage explodes across every screen. News anchors are interrupted mid-broadcast. Phones buzz with alerts. Social feeds flood with comments, theories, prayers, disbelief. The governor, watching from his private office, stares at the screen, motionless. Then, finally, he speaks into the phone. "Call it off, now." Inside the courtyard, a guard sprints toward the warden, phone pressed to his ear. Execution, halted, indefinitely. Casey Monroe looks up from her live stream and whispers, "It's over, you're free." The prisoner, no, the man, drops to his knees, shaking. Tears pour down his cheeks. His entire body shudders like a storm finally passing through. Mara presses her massive body into his. Her head rests gently against his shoulder. The guards lower their weapons. The crowd outside begins to cheer. An hour later, the gates open. There's no ceremony, no speech, just a man in tattered prison clothes and a bear who never stopped believing in him. They walk together, past the reporters, past the guards, past the world, and into the forest.